Hey everyone, welcome back to the Passive Buddies podcast. And today we are covering something that probably doesn't get talked about in that YouTube video that you've just watched and got you all excited, or on that Facebook post that made everything sound absolutely fantastic. Today it is online business expectation versus reality. So guys, be prepared for a virtual slap because it's not as rosy and as sexy as it should be, or as it's made out to be. But we're going to show you how to obviously identify and navigate that. Brandon.
Yeah, I'm excited about this because I think that a lot of people think that you can just start an online business and you'll be making millions. I mean, you see all the ads online where it's like complete beginner with no experience whatsoever, with one leg and blind, can make 6 and 7 figures overnight. And that's literally not the case. I mean, there's a lot of skills you need to learn and relationships you need to build. And it kind of reminds me of that whole iceberg picture where you see like the nice car, the nice house at the top of the iceberg, the cool friends and fancy dinners. And then underneath is like the grind and the blood, the sweat, the tears, the late nights, the failed launches, and all these other things that are underneath the iceberg. And I think that it's the perfect example of what a lot of people don't see that goes into building an online business.
Yeah, all they hear is, "Oh, it's so easy. Your dog could do it." Well, right. I don't think it's that true, but like that's basically the picture. Because within marketing, you've got to get people hyped up. You've got to get people excited. So I get that. So I understand a little bit of the hype scenario. But what I don't like is when they continue to hype all the way through until you get to the course and it's like, right, now work your ass off. It's like, oh, come on, like it's hard work. Online business is hard work, guys. So don't think like you can literally just set and forget straight away. There's a lot that goes into it. What were some of your because obviously you came from brick and mortar, done a brick and mortar business first, effectively, and then came in online. So when you was like, oh, I'm going to transition online, what were you expecting?
Ooh, that's a great question. What was I expecting? You know what? I was expecting that I was going to live that laptop lifestyle where I could literally just be on the beach and turn my computer on and watch the waves and I'd make money. And that's kind of what the picture of the laptop lifestyle is you can work anywhere and you can be on the beach and make all this money. And I hate the sand. So I didn't want that, but I think a lot of people hype it up more than it is. And it's funny because I see all these posts from online of people talking about how they can work anywhere and they can look at this amazing sunset. I'm like, are you really enjoying that? Because you're still working, like you're still grinding, you're still building relationships. It's not like as amazing as it sounds. Like it's funny because when I was a personal trainer and I was building my business and I would make like $1,000 a day by training clients because I had them like 10 hours of clients. And at the end of the day, like, cause I had a split shift. So I'd wake up at like, kind of like this 3-4 o'clock in the morning, have a client at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, work until 10, 11 in the morning. And then it would be lunchtime. I would go to lunch. I'd go work out because I couldn't do it later in the evening. And then I'd be right back in the gym for my teachers, like around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon till about 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And then I would go to bed because I was tired because I had to be up the next morning. And I didn't really get to spend time with my at the time girlfriend or fiance at the time, or really get to do anything because I really just made a nice little desk job for myself, even though I was my own business. But my bosses were my clients. If I didn't show up for work, I wasn't making money. If I was on vacation, it was even worse because when I go on vacation, I couldn't train my clients, so I wasn't having money coming in. So I think it's the same thing and if you guys haven't learned, if you didn't watch our podcast or our YouTube video previously about having the importance of having a CRM tool, you definitely should. But not having a business that can be automated and grinding it yourself and not having systems in place, I find that you do just end up creating a nice little job for yourself where sure you can be on the beach, working, but are you really enjoying the environment around you or the people around you, or are you just on the computer pretending like everything is rosy and amazing? Because I swear it's funny because all these people talk about how much money they're making and how much of a laptop lifestyle they live, but they're literally on their computer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and grinding it out. And that's not, for me, that's not enjoying life. That's like literally slaving away.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard. Like the difference is like, it's hard to begin with, isn't it? Like my expectation was I created an ad, I created a funnel, and I launched a program, and I thought that was it. I was done. And it obviously absolutely bombed, and it was a lot harder than I realized. Like sales skills, marketing psychology, and all these different things, like basically just slapped me in the face until I got it right. So that was obviously a stark learning curve. But it's like when you start, it is a grind. Like no matter what, like anybody says, you've got to learn skills. You've got to put it into action. You've got to hustle. You've got to get you've got to get the system going. But if you don't build a system like to last, you will just burn out, and you will always be stuck in this self-created job that Brandon's talking about. So when it comes to like, yeah, okay, work it, learn the sales skills, learn like how to build a funnel, learn how to market, and then you need to get it as automated as possible. So there's different ways you can get, obviously, automate it on the back end. Obviously, we spoke about CRMs, we spoke about funnels in the last episode. So that's one way to get things automated on that email marketing side. And the second is obviously I call them long-term marketing strategies, because these are the things that can help you get found long-term. Like obviously Facebook is the easiest thing to start like generating money on. Like Instagram and TikTok, like those things is like, but they are the things that keep you on the hamster wheel. Right. But obviously they're the things you get taught because they can spike your sales. The things that get you off the hamster wheel is like your YouTube channel, running ads, blogging. Those three things can automate your lead generation. And if you can automate your lead generation, that is what it turns everything more passive. But nobody really talks about it. Like everybody says, oh yeah, you need a YouTube channel. All right, okay. Why? Just cause. Like everyone says you need to be on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. Like, but what they don't separate for you, and this is where the stark reality comes in. Like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're content hamster wheels. Yeah. Like you have to keep going on them in order. Like, and I mean, like TikTok, they're saying like 3-5 a day, like TikToks to create and stuff like that. And like you have to be creating content daily. Whereas the likes of YouTube, like you have to create content a lot less frequent. Could be like once you've grown your channel, it could be like 3 times a week, but because it's search based, you are then obviously at the hands of SEO forever. Like people are still generating leads from videos they created 5 years ago. Now, when it comes to time investment, that is definitely something where you want to be looking at investing in your time in reality, instead of just, hey, make a Facebook post and generate 10K. Hey, that doesn't really happen unless you've built your following, built your list, built your value. Like you're not going to put out post on day one and it actually convert. So all this sexiness doesn't really exist.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of and people are seeing through now a lot of the, can I say bullshit online, where people were saying, I mean, I did. I mean, I know I can say that on YouTube, but I don't know if I can say it on podcast, but that's okay. A lot of these people that are just new that are getting into the space are saying like, oh, I can teach you how to make $10,000 a month or a day, and they've never done it themselves. And if you can't build up the the audience, if you can't build up the engagement, I mean, it's funny. I got an email, a spam kind of cold DM today that was like, hey, if you want to add an extra $200 to $1 million of recurring income to your business, then we have our inside sales teams that will do it. And it was some random dude that I've never even talked to. He just added me as a friend. So if you haven't watched our affiliate mistakes, which that's not even affiliate marketing, but that's another mistake in general, just marketing in general, is to be spammy. But he literally, I've never even heard of the guy. And I looked through his profile, and it doesn't look like he's making $200,000 to $1 million a month. And so I was like, show me your P&L. Your profit and loss sheet, and prove to me that you can do that. And I haven't got a response. It just went quiet. So, it's just sad that people don't take the time to actually learn the skills, because it's just the blind leading the blind at that point. If you can't deliver on what you're saying, start building a business, start providing results, start documenting these results. And like, a lot of people have gone to school for 12 to 20 some odd years, and they expect to make 100,000 or even $1 million overnight, and it's not feasible. So be okay with going slow, learning what it takes, so that you can not be like, you can actually provide long-term results for yourself and your business, instead of just being a flash in the pan.
Yeah, they just said, like, obviously people go to not work, to
uni.
Yeah, people go like in the education system for like 20 years, and they come out and they're like, right, okay, cool. Now I'm in a sea of people all competing for the same stuff, and they've just wasted 20 years, in my opinion. But that's another topic. Whereas like online, like, again, like, there's different levels to it. Like, you can go do a course, which obviously loads of people do, and then you become into the sea of people. Now, the sea of people all go to Facebook straight away, because that's where you can make your money first. And obviously people are now like at TikTok or Instagram. So they go into these content hamster wheels. Yeah. If you want to be the authority, if you want to stand out in this space, like we always say, like, go to YouTube as well. Because if you have a problem that you want to solve, where do you go to first? You go to YouTube, you type it in. So if you want to stand out from all of these Facebook marketers, the ones who are pitching branding to make 2 million a day, like, go into YouTube, because that's where you will build your authority, and that is where you will build your long-term lead generation system that you don't have to be a part of every single day. So think about it, you put a YouTube video that can get found for the next 5 years. Then from there, they go into an opt-in funnel. From there, they get nurtured and they get sold to, all through automation. You may actually be able to go onto that beach and enjoy it, because everything is working for you. But if you don't build those systems that people don't tell you to build, they just go, oh yeah. Sorry. They teach you how to get your first high ticket sale, because it does two things. It gets you a result, so you think you've succeeded, and it gets them a video testimonial that they can sell to the next person. What it actually doesn't do is it doesn't teach you how to build business long term, which is everybody's ultimate goal. And everybody forgets that when they start. You don't want to be here for 6 months. You want to be in business for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And it's funny, because just like you said, a lot of these people will be like, oh, you don't need a funnel. You don't need a email list. You don't need, all these things. And what they're really doing is setting you up to be an employee. Because if you're not building an email list, you don't actually own those leads. It's the person that is having you sell for them. So you're essentially just a commission-only employee at that point, because you don't own your list. And if you're just like you said, they teach you to get your first commission. But that's what any business owner does training on, is to teach you how to sell for them. And if you're selling for them, then and making a few sales every once in a while, they have you for life. And that's not how you're trying to escape the rat race, and you're not escaping the rat race to join a digital rat race. And so that's why it's so important to do these things, like learn these skills, create systems for your own self so that you don't have to work for anyone ever. And if you do these and take the time to learn these skills, go through all these podcasts, go through all these YouTube videos, learn and implement and fail and learn again and be okay with failure, then at some point, and you can do it pretty quickly. Like I've grown quite several six-figure companies within a couple months just by knowing sheer numbers, and then also having a list, because it is super important to have your own list and own your own list. So I think the biggest takeaway is don't expect overnight results. If you get overnight results, it's great, but keep compounding those results. And don't try and don't get shiny object syndrome. I mean, trust me, like I've fallen into that trap a bunch of times, and it just, if you can compound your results and you know that it works and keep building on top of it, and then taking that money, setting aside a little bit to invest into other income producing assets that don't take away from your business, then you can also live on that beach, not live on the beach, but be on the beach and actually enjoy the beach and the sand and the people and the environment, versus just being on the laptop typing away, trying to post on the hamster wheel of content that is Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Yeah, and guys, obviously, Brandon touched on it before, is that if you ever see one of these posts like, hey, create an online business without funnel, without an email, without creating content, without this, without that, without this, do not respond. Okay, do not listen to them. It's a load of crap, as you say. Like Brandon calls it the digital rat race. I call it the self-created job. Do not fall into those traps, guys. Like expectation versus reality. It's hard to start. And if you do not build a system that everyone tells you you don't need, then you are going to fail. Okay, it's a case of like, yeah, you don't need a funnel to get your first sale. Okay, but anybody can make $1,000. Anyone can make $5,000 once. Okay, the key is to make it time and time again. So if you don't build systems, if you don't build long-term marketing strategies, if you don't build automated lead generation strategies, you will fail. So all these guys that say you don't need any of that, do me a favor, virtually slap them, tell them to go away and come back to our YouTube channel and learn how to do it right.
100%. I think that is great words of advice.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any comments, like, follow, subscribe. You know the deal by now, and we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.